With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high quality. Productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings.
Really nice to be back here to talk sports on Dominion Sports, and most definitely this is Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where inspiration meets entertainment. Best player last season, this season again, he's firing from all cylinders, and he has been fantastic for the team. You know, sometimes you just when life throws you a lemon, just make lemonade out of it. You would have loved to be in a bigger league, probably the English Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, and maybe the German Bundesliga in one way. But unfortunately, that transfer didn't materialize, especially when Chelsea was, neck deep into signing him. Unfortunately, probably because of the way the contract was structured, he felt he deserved more. And if you compare what he has done for Gala and how Chelsea have struggled, when it comes to scoring goals, you would have said, maybe thought, if he had joined Chelsea, maybe things would have been a little bit different. I mean, in terms of approach in attack. Yes, I am of the same school of thought, but unfortunately, they did not, break the bank to sign Victor Osimhen. And I am really glad that they are living to see exactly what they could have brought into the table if they signed it.
All right, we're still going to discuss Victor Osimhen on the show this wonderful morning, but that's what the captain can do to you. Give you the tidbits of what to expect on the show. But let's take stories from the local front, like we do it on the show. The club statement is coming from Remo Stars. We had the rumors, there were clear rumors that the coach of Remo Stars, is not longer, with the team. But at this point in time, Remo Stars have come out to clarify the statement, and they released a club statement yesterday, saying Remo Stars Football Club wishes to clarify that our head coach, Daniel Ogunmenede, remains an integral part of our technical crew and continues to serve as the head coach of Remo Stars Football Club. Daniel is presently attending a CAF B coaching course in Abuja as part of his continuous professional development and commitment to personal and technical growth. He would also continue his national assignment with the Nigeria national team as the country prepares for the crucial FIFA World Cup African playoffs, the potential intercontinental playoff, and the African Cup of Nations later this year. We firmly believe that this is a period that calls for collective national support and dedication to the success of Nigerian football. It remains a valued and vital member of the Remo Stars family, and we eagerly look forward to a successful completion of this national and personal engagement, assigned the management. Samson Balogun, there you have it. Daniel Ogunmenede is still the head coach of Remo Stars, and looking at it, they have a game today. Let's talk about the situation with Remo Stars Football Club. It's been back and forth with them. You talked about it this week, saying they are struggling to get results. We got a report that the head coach of Daniel Ogunmenede is not in the camp of the Remo Stars side, and it's looking like a major problem for them. What the situation around the camp of Remo Stars and also Daniel Ogunmenede?
You see, I'm always worried of what this emergency pressmen can do to you, especially on social media. I mean, we have seen, you see, there's a particular word they use these days to qualify some people. They call them, freelancers. They have done too much damage to the game of sports. They have done too much damage to how we see things, in the country. Unfortunately, they are everywhere. When I check the list of pressmen invited for the game, Shooting Stars, for example, when clearance is done for the team, you see names, and then you can't really pinpoint which media house they work for. And then when you check their platforms, it's not really there, but unfortunately, they have made themselves emergency reporters, and then they post things. When I saw the story of Daniel Ogunmenede not being a part of Remo Stars anymore, the first thing that came to my mind is it would be really difficult to replace Daniel Ogumodede in that team, because he has been, when it comes to consistency, I think the only team that has been able to maintain a coach for more than 2-3 years.
3 years, yeah.
In the history of the NBA, I mean, has been
Remo Stars, yeah.
He's been there for
almost 5 years. 10 years.
He's been there for 10 years. If you check back in history, he's been there for 10 years now.
I heard that a certain Gbenga Ogunbote was also, part of the Remo Stars team. Beautiful.
When they started. So Daniel Ogumodede has been part of Remo Stars as a team for 10 years. Now, how long he has coached the senior team is what I'm trying to figure out, but I will remember. But Ogumbote was also part of the setup some time ago. But then, when I saw the story, one thing I did was I went to the page, Facebook page and Instagram page for Remo Stars. There was nothing like that. Yeah. I went to see Daniel Ogumodede's page himself. Yeah. Unfortunately, he did not post anything like that. The only thing I saw was that he was at a training in Abuja. So I said to myself, this guy is not around. So if he's not around, I mean, nothing like this should be flying. I mean, this is a distraction to the team, especially when they are struggling. So whoever posted that, is really should be sanctioned. I mean, sometimes you need to clamp down on people who just put, news that can actually make or mar a team out there. Yes, unfortunately, that's the situation we have found ourselves. So it will be really difficult to replace him. Unfortunately, there's a negative side to what Daniel Ogumodede has achieved, in recent times. He has been consistent with Remo Stars. Eventually, they won the league after so much try. But then, when it comes to concentration, he has not really been he has not really concentrated with the team in the last 3 years. Let me say in the last 2.5 or 3 years, yeah. Because he has had the responsibility of joining, the Super Eagles as an assistant coach. So when he's not there, the league is ongoing. But the head coach of the team is not there. So when he's not around, they struggle. The same thing is happening to Fidelis Ilechukwu. Yeah. But the fact that they did not win the league last season, nobody is saying how Rivers United, how Rangers International are also struggling. But they are having issues. Yeah. So the real issues are there to explore. So are you saying, Daniel Ogumodede should actually choose a side now? Is it Remo Stars or the Super Eagles team? You see, the NPFL is, chaotic and, energy sapping enough for you to know that you can't really combine these roles together. I mean, how many times have you seen a certain, for example, let me pick one of these. Enzo Maresca, taking a job with the Portuguese national team and still being a Chelsea coach.
Come on, it's going to fizzle out.
How many times have you seen a certain, what's his name? During Arsene Wenger's tenure, it was just Arsenal coach and not French national team coach. So you see, there are things that you cannot combine. Unfortunately, in Africa, we want to be everywhere at the same time. A certain
Thierry Henry wanted to do that also. He was trying to coach at the France under-21 team. They struggled also trying to coach, assistant coach to Belgium.
You really cannot. These are things you cannot blend. So what happens when their calendar clashes? And then you want to be with the under-20 team and, of course, with the Belgian national team. How do you blend these two? So which one do you forgo at that time? So, see, when it comes to, the issue of coaching, one of the things you have to do to yourself is to be able to concentrate. You find time to concentrate because it's about thinking. When you are a coach, you are no longer a player who has to do, less thinking and more hard work, right? But then, as a coach, all you have to do is to think. You think for 90 minutes. And after 90 minutes, you keep thinking. Because you have to strategize for the next game. You prepare for everything and anything that might happen. That is why the technical ability of a player is not dependent on the coach. It is dependent on the player. And the coach has to help the player understand himself better so he can actually transmit what is in his mind to actually good football on the field of play. These are things you do. You transition from what you think. Because before you kick a ball, you think first. Where do I kick this ball? Who do I give the pass to? It's about thinking. It's about instinct. So what comes to you first is what you do. That's why they say, that was when a player misplaces a pass. It's not his fault. That was what came to his mind. So it's not about the leg. It's about the head. So it's the responsibility of the coach to help the player understand how to interpret, when to think, how to think, and what to do when you have actually thought of something. So it is about thinking 24/7 for a coach. So you cannot do too many things together unless you want to run mad on the field of play. So that's the current situation.
That's just the word.
That's the current situation with Daniel Ogumodede. He's got too much to handle. aside from taking the job with the national team, he's also developing himself as a coach. So right now he's not around. He's in Abuja, and the team is preparing in Remo, which they have another game to play today. Yes, and he's not here. He's in Abuja. So
and this week also it will be in Morocco for the camp of the Super Eagles.
You can understand where the problem is coming from. The coach is not even around. The players, they have missed their coach. I mean, his technical input is seriously being missed, and that's a grave danger for the team. If he continues to look at the trend. Since he has not been around, you see how they have lost
massive
games.
Struggle.
They have been struggling. But if he was around, even if it is going to be just 1-0, look at when they went to Kun Khalifat. It was on seat. What did they do? They won 2 goals to 1 away to Kun Khalifat, a team that has gone away from home to torment some other teams.
I agree.
This season. So it tells you that what he brings to the table is not just about Daniel Ogumodede. It's about his thinking on the sideline. His presence alone can actually spur the players to do excellently well on the field of play. But it's a challenge. Will he be able to pick one side? Unfortunately, when you work with the national team where you don't even have a contract, most of them are being scoped into doing things. Oh, just come and do it. But because they need they need that on their CV. Look at Aliu Zubairu, for example. He got a job with the national team, and then having done it for some time, he's now in Egypt. So that tells you that he has some things to present to them that, this is what I have done in the past. And that's exactly what these coaches are doing. Daniel Ogumodede, for example, had to travel to Portugal at the time with CD Ferenc to undergo some trainings, see how they do things out there, and then brought that back to the country. When he came back, they eventually won the league. So what he learned there eventually translated into the results for them. So will you be able to pick one out of all these things he's currently doing is a very big question. But unfortunately, he will continue to do the same thing the same way, and he will continue to get the same results, just like they are saying it now.
All right. That's the report coming from the camp of Remo Stars and Coach Daniel Ogumodede. And we hope for the very best. You can't play your cards and get it right. You just need to stay on one locker and prove out result for your team. And we're going to be talking about Remo Stars as they travel to Lafia Stadium to face Nasarawa United ahead of the rescheduled fixtures right there in the MPF football. Before we talk about that, let's talk about a newly promoted side, a newly promoted club, a new club, Phoenix Athletic Sport Club welcomes Chief Coach Alao Ojo Temitokpe. The Phoenix Athletics Sport Club is proud to announce Alao Ojo Temitokpe as a new coach, a seasoned professional whose journey from grassroots academy to elite football embodies the club ethos and rising through excellence. Coach Alao began his football development as Agbana Academy in Ado-Ekiti, where he earned the skills. From there, he progressed through clubs like Atland FC, Eyimba, Kwara United, Ekiti United FC, amassing over 15 years of professional experience. His accolades include the WAFU Under-17 Gold Cup 2008 with Nigeria Under-17, Nigeria Premier League runners-up 2008-2009, and a CAF Champions League final 2009 appearance with Atland FC. Renowned for technical innovation and mentorship, he shaped numerous young players into professional careers. Holding an advanced coaching license in 2025 and a basic coaching license also in 2024 from the Nigerian Institute for Sport NIS. Coach Alao excels in technical analysis, youth development team, leadership and performance strategy. He shared the visionary leadership and clear ambition of CEO Bayo Olanlege, gave him full confidence in his project. His commitment to building a world-class program is what convinced him to the Phoenix is the right place to rise together. Welcome the coach Alao Ojo Temitokpe to this new club, Phoenix United. Very soon, I'm sure we'll be having this coach speak to us, and also the club owners also be part of the show to speak to us on the development of how they want to transcend into the MPF. But it's good news for them to have such a technical coach who understand the grassroots development. And you speak about grassroots development all the time, that if you want to coach a team in Nigeria, you must understand grassroots development. And we have a certain coach who has done his onions properly. He knows the ropes by the numbers, and is back managing a club like Phoenix in football club.
Well, Coach Alao Ojo Temitokpe is arguably one of the best coaches you can have around when it comes to grassroots football, understanding local players and what exactly they need and how they need to go about their careers. He's been there, he's done it, and most definitely that's the result you are seeing now, signing for Phoenix Athletics Sports Club. I mean, it's a really massive, leap for him at this time. I mean, when you have a team with focus, a team that understands, where to pick things from, and then brought about a coach who understands how to get things done. I mean, it's really an interesting union between these two, and I really do believe that Coach Alao Ojo Temitope has a lot to offer this team, and you can't just give him his credit and his flowers for what he's done so far in the history of Nigerian football, a career spanning about 10 years, moving from one place to the other, and these are top
and achieving.
Teams. And these are top teams, and of course he has records to prove that he's done this before. I mean, the reason why we keep records is because you set precedences, and when you set precedences, you can always go back and say, look what I did in the past. And one of those few coaches with track records is Coach Alao Ojo Temitope, and I really congratulate him on this particular move. And is actually a valuable addition to the team. I mean, one you would look up to and say, look, we've got a big one on our hands, and it's just important that the team gives him, all the necessary support he needs to carry out this responsibility, and then give him the backing and the resources.
I just want to ask quickly.
Once those are available, I mean, it's definitely going to succeed.
I'm just going to ask quickly, what do you think about the club, the Phoenix club just developing? What do you see the system for them in Nigerian football?
Well, I think it's about will and grit for smaller teams that are really doing really well for themselves. The reason I say smaller teams, there's no small team anywhere. But the truth is, some of them started humbly, and look at what they have done so far. I mean, it's really massive. One of the things I say is, for privately owned football clubs in the country, I mean, it's never going to come easy. Nobody's going to give you free funds. So it means that the owner really has to fund his team. And for some teams to have actually been able to, nip it in the bud and then get things done at this time and still be here, shows a lot about how determined the club owner is. How resolute the management of the club, how resolute they are, and most definitely how committed every member of staff of the club is. So once all that is, there, the success is just around the corner. And what we are seeing with Phoenix, I mean, you have to check their branding, what they have brought to the table. It shows, it reeks of, seriousness.
Seriousness, I agree.
And, you can't just but give them accolade for what they've done so far. I really do hope to see them in the NPFL soon. We've seen teams, evolve from ground zero to something really big. Are we going to talk about Sporting Lagos? Are we going to talk about Ikorodu City? Are we going to talk about, even Remo Stars? I mean, they started, by shaping things. And another thing is, when you present yourself out there with good branding, what you are saying is, hey, we are not coming to joke. We are coming to make a statement. And we are seeing teams with, real branding who have actually done really well. And they set themselves as a very big example for every other team to follow. When we're talking about branding at the beginning of the season, we're mentioning names of football clubs. Every other team they are trying to join. If you were spending 100,000 on media before, be ready to spend about 2-3 million, because you know that if you want to match up with the quality some of these teams are bringing to the table, most definitely you have to double up. You have to spend money. It doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come for free. If you are taking me to do your PR, you know you're definitely going to pay money. And it doesn't come for free anyway. But, some of us are really, some of these clubs are still there, that era where you just edit the same graphic design for every post. I mean, be creative. I agree. I mean, let your fans, the look and feel of your social media handles really has to make sense. It should be. I mean, I've seen clubs that are playing just grassroots football, and then if you see the level of branding they bring to the table. I agree to that. I mean, it tells you that some teams are really serious with everything. The only thing they lack is sponsorship. The only thing they lack is funding. And once funding is coming from the owners of the club, we'll continue to have teams like Phoenix Athletic Sports Club, and that's a great one for them.
Beautiful. All right, that's the update from Phoenix Athletic Sports Club. We hope for the very best for them. And like I said, we'll be open to give you more update from that club. We're going to talk about the rescheduled game for today in the NPFL. But before that, you're going to watch the highlight between Bendel Insurance and Warri Wolves that happened over the weekend. And we'll be back to talk more sport on the go.
Teams players share the same capital here in the Arctic. Two different states in this year's edition of the Nigerian Professional Football League. Definitely do have them, Shot Parallel, Udom, all standing behind this, trying to figure out exactly how they want to go with this. Rolls it in, a shot from outside, and it's in! What a beauty that was! I said it already, they were thinking about exactly how to go about it, and I think that is definitely the best strategy. Lovely dummy, lovely pass there, and we have our very first goal right here. What a shot from just outside the box. And we have lift off right here. Based on the defense, it's just some few moments in lapses that allows them to get behind. Lovely target from Kayode now to bring it forward. Can he find a cross here? Kayode is running to the box. It's just behind. Falls the shots. And they're carried away, but the ball is still in danger. Can he find one? Crosses it in. Headed. Okay, we couldn't guide it. Too late to go, but the ball is still in play. Miles back here now. Can they find a cross into the box? Brought in. Still in danger. And shot by Stanley. There we go. Yazid. Okoro standing over this one. Runs away it. Leaves it for Stanley Okoro. Oh, bringing it out to Yazid. They're coming. The 4-4 Udoni. Ball is up to Kayode. Takes it back in. The ball is bouncing around. Can we find the goal? So close there from Alex. Left foot and right foot shot to come in. Seems like it'll be a two get to take. Otuke stands over it. Otuke took his time and oh my word! What a delivery that was there from Otuke. Just what they needed. Perfectly called into the left hand corner. Goalkeeper Joshua Labar was left stunned. He was just right where he stood. It was brought under control by Henry Stanley. Now a lovely run there. He had a chance to take a shot, but he takes it easy. The ball comes in, looks good. Udom to fall for corner. Oh my word! There he goes. Benedict seeking all 3 points. Will do them a lot of good if they can get it to improve their standing in the league. And here comes Roy Wolves down on the left. Still Roy Wolves can bring the ball back in. Touched by the goalkeeper. Joshua Babak clears up without taking any chances. Chinedu wins it off his man now. Benedict can go forward. Still Chinedu. Chinedu wants to. Finds Akimola. Akimola with the shots. But it's straight at the goalkeeper. Back in again. This time, Roy Wolves are playing with, and they can come forward a little space down the center. Tries to catch a goalkeeper offhand. Joshua Baba stops it, but Stanley brings it forward. Put insurance with one more opportunity to come forward. The Sayanda turning round. Now back again. The ball can fall here. Ball back here, doesn't find anyone. Nice recovery by Wozu Chinedu. Rolls it for Stanley. The cross comes in, and it's headed.
All right, there you have it, the beautiful game of football between Benden Insurance and the beautiful team Warri Wolves. Right there, the game ended 1-1 over the weekend. Samson Balogun, I'm sure you enjoyed that wonderful technical play, from Kennedy Boboye's side. We were just talking about, how gifted some coach how when it comes to laying down instructions and technical know-hows to this players, and we saw that, from their team. But quickly, let's talk about the game between Benden Insurance and Rivers United today. How do you see that game play out for Coach Finidi George away from home, coming straight to play Kennedy Boboye's side, Benden Insurance?
You see, it's really going to be a very tough one, But then, if you look at how Benden Insurance now play since the emergence of Kennedy Boboye as one of the coaches, the coach in the team, I mean, it has really improved, and you can't but say that his own approach is currently being imprinted on the team. And you saw exactly what that means when you saw the training drills being displayed on the field of play. It shows synergy, it shows communication between the players, and that's the very first thing you have to, entrench into your team when you get the job as a coach. You teach your players how to communicate on the field of play, how you want them to communicate. That's the most important thing. And above all, you are able to transmit that into results. And I mean, yes, they are not getting the results yet, but in their next game might just be something totally different. If they keep up with this consistency and how they play and put pressure on the opponent on the counter and getting results from set pieces, I mean, it's going to be a really fantastic game for them.
Something about a quick one. Looking at the last 5 matches for Benden Insurance, it's been 3 draws and 2 losses for them. And also, you look at Rivers United. Also, a little bit of right now it's 2 wins. In 5 games for them. That they had the last win against Nasarawa United. For you, what's it looking like for Rivers United going into this encounter with a team like Benden Insurance that have been able, to churn out draws on their own turf?
You see, Benden Insurance at their last game, they had to rest some of their players because of the fact that they played on the continent, and some of these players they really gave their all, and some of them had knocks, minor injuries, and the like. So they had to rest some of their players. But in this game, they really don't have to rest any player because it's not like they are playing on the continent over the weekend. So it will still be league action. So play your best 11, and I think that's why they are going to have upper hand over Benden Insurance. When it comes to form, Benden Insurance has not been consistent this season. Most of their games, the best result they had in some games was a draw. I mean, it's even better. Sometimes it's better you lose than you get draws in games because you don't even know how badly your team has become, when you begin to get draws. But then, that's what they have been getting. Even Ikorodu City also started like that before they started winning. They were getting draws until they woke up one day and found themselves in the lower half of the table. So that's when you wake up and realize, these points are not really helping. And it's going to be a crunch clash between Benden Insurance and Rivers United, but I see Rivers United with an upper hand in this game in terms of the quality of players in the team. 2, the coach is a fantastic coach, Finidi George, who's done so well. The only team that has qualified for the group phase of the CAF Champions League in about 6-7 years, that's Finidi George for Rivers United. So the pride and what they have achieved so far should be one of their motivating factors when they play against Benden Insurance later in the day. But I still feel like Rivers United have the upper hand in all of this.
All right, let's see how that game's run out between Benden Insurance and Rivers United today. Also, let's take Nasarawa United game against Remo Stars. Let's see something about going for you. Nasarawa United against Remo Stars. What's the option and what's the game looking like for Remo Stars, who have been struggling this season, and also Nasarawa United now churning out losses, at the end of their game?
You see, Nasarawa United is a big team, and when you look at the situation, you would understand the fact that at this point, Nasarawa United are beginning to show their real title credentials, and you should always expect that this would happen. We mentioned this, that if they are able to get results, and if they are not losing games until maybe give or take until the half of the season, you would understand, oh, they are really serious title contenders. And I mentioned that we would have title pretenders, and they are already losing games. Playing against Remo Stars is going to be really dicey because you don't even know where this will hit. Nasarawa United are playing at home. They are already losing games, yes. But Remo Stars is playing away from home. They are already losing games too. In their last 5 games, you will see L, and L when it comes to form. I think it's a straight L in the last 4 games.
Yeah, 4 games. Yes, you're right.
The last time they won was
Wiki Tourist.
Yeah. So it's a very dicey situation for Remo Stars. Now, just like Liverpool did against Aston Villa and eventually won against Real Madrid, is that you just need one game to turn things around. But when is that game going to be? You don't know. But it just might be this game against Nasarawa United. If you're able to beat one of the league leaders, that might be the turning point for the team. But then, as I mentioned earlier, the absence of the coach is a major factor in how these players are thinking. Because now, it has to be, they are working with 2 different ideas. The coach is not around, the assistant coach comes in and says things the way he feels it should be. When the coach comes back, he returns them back to factory settings and gives them his own idea too. So the players are really mentally divided as regards the how to go about things. But I do feel that Remo Stars should be able to get results, even if it is going to be a draw against Nasarawa United. If they get a draw, that might be the turning point in their season.
All right, we'll be wrapping up the show quickly. Let's just look at the Champions League result for yesterday's game to wrap up the show. Yesterday's result was fantastic. For some teams, you look at Pavos picking up the victory against Villarreal. There you have it. Chelsea played at a 2-2 draw. Another convincing result for Enzo Maresca's side. Estaval and also Garnacho getting that one. Also Pavos against Villarreal getting that one. Also FC Barcelona, a massive struggle for them against Club Brugge. The game ended 3-3. Victor Osimhen with an hat-trick yesterday, becoming the man after Yakuba Yegbeni getting another hat-trick for a man playing for Nigeria. And also we have Newcastle United picking up a victory against Athletic Bilbao. Fantastic cross, from Kieran Trippier to give Dan Bourne that one. Patrick Schick, massive struggle for Jose Mourinho right there against for Benfica. Also Atlanta against Marseille. The game ended 1-0. Now, quick one. Let's just look at the table. Was looking like. Also, Manchester City picked up a victory. There you have it. Bayern Munich lead them. The next game of fixtures in the Champions League is going to be very, very interesting. You're going to have Arsenal against Bayern Munich, 2 teams in good form. Also, Chelsea against FC Barcelona. Both teams who churned out just 1 point in the last game. So it's going to be feisty right there in the Champions League. But those are the standings at this point in time. Samson Balogun, we just have to go because of our time. But just one word, from the Champions League game yesterday.
Well, I think we saw a flurry of goals. We saw expected victories and some were unexpected. But then the fact that, some of these teams are still struggling, I'm really, Benfica at number 35, not scoring goals and, of course, conceding goals, it's a really big one. And having a coach like Jose Mourinho at the dugout is really a point of concern. But I do hope that he is able to turn things around, just like every other team. But, getting maximum results, Bayern Munich are doing fantastically well this season. If you look at their results on in their local league, they are doing really well. Won all games. And when it comes to Champions League, doing the same. I mean, when you play 16 games in the season, the first 16 games, you are winning every one of them. For Arsenal in their last 6 games too, it's been a clean sweep.
No goals considered.
No goals considered.
Games.
That's really so. That it's no mistake that they are actually there. For Inter Milan, not too, solid for them in the league, but then they have been able to maintain this momentum in the UEFA Champions League. So let's see what will happen. We might still see a little bit of power shift in the Champions League going forward. We have teams in the third half, which is Marseille, Juventus, Athletic Bilbao, Union Saint-Gilloise, Bodo Glimt, Slavia Prague, and some other teams. And we might still see some movement. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
All right, let's keep our fingers crossed. That's all we can take on the show this wonderful morning. A big thank you to everyone that stayed connected to Dominion Television. And also make sure you drop your comments right there in the comment section. I am Paul Abetoluwanimi, and Samson Balogun say a big thank you to you for joining us on the show.
Really nice to be here.
All right, so Friday is going to be an exciting time to join us on the show. Tomorrow is Thank God It's Friday edition of Dominion Sports. Stay connected, stay blessed, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.